All right, all right, all right, all right, all right. Friday night. Here we go. Oh boy. Well, it's a lot going on in the hip hop world. And first, let me shout out to everybody. Rep your city. You know how we do. Rep your city. I am representing Chicago, aka Chi-Town. Shout out to everybody on Facebook, Twitch, Kick, YouTube, and my other Facebook account, both Facebook accounts. Much love and respect. I know I haven't been over there. I've only been on YouTube. Rep Your City, Inkster, I think that's a place. Where's Inkster at? We got New Orleans in the building. Rep Your City, get a shout out. We got Greensboro in the house. We got Buffalo in the building. We got Fresno in the building. Rep Your City. Your city loves being represented. Okay. Inkster, Michigan. Well, I haven't been there. I can't believe it. We got the D in the building, Detroit. Kind of my third, kind of my fourth home. I would say my second home would be Los Angeles. My third home would be either Birmingham or Uniontown, Alabama. And my fourth home would be Detroit, where my grandmother and my great uncles live. We got Miami Gardens in the building with the beautiful April. Ooh, cutie pie. So here we go with this. I was not, let's see who else is here. Let me rep everybody. We got Alabama, your second home. Yeah, you know, I'm an Alabama boy. Miami-Dade County in the building. Yeah. Yes, indeed. Ugh. I know we got 36 people in here. I hope I got 36 likes. I need to start checking my likes. Uh, Mods, every now and then, let me know how many likes I got. I got to get more likes. I can't be having no 200 people watching me with no 40 likes. Yeah, I gotta get on that. Okay. My boss told me. My boss told me to get on top of that. We got Lexington, Kentucky in the house. Yeah, my boss told me I need to get on that. Yeah, my boss was like, Daddy, you can't be letting all them watch you. They don't even be liking it. And it'd be 250 people and just 50 likes. They bogus, Daddy. They bogus. I said, okay, supervisor. Okay. That's my little supervisor. Yeah, man, she ain't little no more. She grown, but still. Man, she be on my neck. We got Pittsburgh in the building. See, we only got 15 likes. That ain't gonna get it. Why we don't got 35 likes? My supervisor is gonna get me if I don't do this, okay? I'm tired of hearing her mouth. What is it? Is it because she's the youngest? What is that about? I got 6 kids. Why only one of them like that? Or did she get it from her mother? I don't know. Now, her mother ain't bossy like that. So I don't know whatever. Is it because it's the baby? I don't know. Do anybody know what that's about? Why is she on my neck all the time? I already know when I hear the first word, Daddy, the way she said, oh, God. Oh, my God. What? What? What did I do or what ain't I doing? Okay? She do that at everything, though. She do it with content, not content, in real life, everything. Hmm. Where you from? Where you from? Where you from? That's right. And that's Pharaoh with a capital P. P is for, what is P for? P is for productive. I was going to say player, but I'm not a player. I never really been a player. I never been a player. I always been like a one woman man. I never really ran around with a lot of ladies like that. I had one little short period in my life in Hawaii where I was with a lot of ladies, but I wouldn't say I was a player. I would say I was dynamic and attractive, and so they was coming at me, and I just wasn't turning down none but my collar. But I wasn't after them. They was hopping out of rental cars on me. Yeah, I never was really interested in woman to woman to woman to woman like that. When I got a woman, I got a woman, and I'm not looking for another woman when I got a woman. What am I gonna do with her? See, I'm not really into sneaking. See, when I had all them ladies, when I went through all them ladies in Hawaii, I wasn't sneaking. See what I'm saying? They was tourists. They was hopping out. I was knocking them back, and they was going back to Spain, back to Portugal, back to Brazil, back to Africa, back to New York, back to Chicago, back to wherever they was from. So it wasn't like they was my girlfriends. I was just hitting and splitting. But I don't like lying. I don't like sneaking and lying. That ain't my thing. That I'm not comfortable with that. I'm not comfortable with that. I don't want to have to guard my phone and all of that. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to have to guard my phone. You know, I want to come home, my queen there, put my phone down. When it rings, she can get it and tell me who it is. Oh, this Marvin. This so and so. I don't want to have to hide my. You know what I'm saying? To me, that ain't like no king. That ain't no king. That's kind of sleazebally. I mean, if I got a queen already and we already having a relationship, what I need with another relationship is another one, another one, another one, another one, another one. What is that? And then, you know, I don't want to bring my lady nothing back from the other lady. I don't do STDs, okay? I don't do all that. See, all of that. You know, I'm sleeping with somebody that's sleeping with somebody. Now, I don't do side chicks. I'm a pharaoh. I got to have a queen. I don't do no side piece. You can't be a side piece. Now, I'll hit it and split it and quit it. But you can't be nothing to me. I'm not going to do that if I'm in a relationship. I'm not doing all that. It's too much. To me, it's just, and that ain't me. I don't see no bit. I don't see, it don't make you, to me, it ain't nothing to brag about to me. No, that wasn't never cool. You had two wives. You never had no side piece in the ancient world. Never. You had two wives or two queens. You never cheated on the queen. So that's misinformation. You never did that. You never ran around. If you got two wives, they both in the palace. I'm talking about running around. You never did that. You never did that in ancient times. As a matter of fact, in ancient times, you didn't necessarily like your second or third wife. Actually, in ancient times, the other kingdoms would give you a family member. So I got a queen. Me and the other kingdom, my daddy been warned with them. I coming to power. The last king's son coming to power. He wanted to meet with me and say the war's been going on too long. He offered me his sister. Now, he not offering me his sister for sexual reasons. He offered me his sister. She become like my second wife. And he wants me to impregnate her, not for sexual reasons. He wants me to impregnate her so that now the blood is mixed. So now my kingdom and that kingdom, we family. And based on those traditions back then, once we family, we can't beef no more. So it was a way to enforce peace through family rules. They had family rules. They say, well, since we can't work this out no other kind of way, why don't you sleep with my sister? She have a baby. Now that baby come from both kingdoms. And now we brothers. That's why that was done most times. And sometimes you would end up with 3 or 4 of them because you here, and there's a country here, there's a country here, and there's a country there, and all of them give you a woman, and you give them all a woman, and they got to be family members of mine. It's got to be my bloodline. So they got to be my daughters, or it could be my auntie. But it got to be bloodline. It got to be some kind of way, but preferably straight from my bloodline. And then that's why they would do that. So I just never wasn't into that. You know what I'm saying? To me, it's too sleazy. You know, I don't want to be no liar. I don't want to be walking around just a liar all day, just lying. That's not my thing. You know, you got a woman on the side, you got a wife, you got a woman, or you got a girlfriend, you got one on the side. You got to be a liar all day, every day. You got to be a liar. So I can't see myself doing that unless it's for like money reasons. And that leads into what I'm getting ready to say. Like if I'm hustling, then when I'm hustling, that's a little different because I'll break rules for the bag. If I'm hustling, I break rules for the bag. If I'm hustling. Other than that, you can't be no regular. If I got a wife, you can't be no regular. Now, if I can hit it and split it and quit it and there's no connection and I ain't got to worry about you calling my phone and all that, I might. But most times, no, because I'll be too busy. So the only time I can remember doing that, I was married and I met this sister that lived in Milwaukee. And I found out that they liquor stores was closed on Sunday. So every Saturday night I would load up my trunk with gallons of liquor and I would get all the empty bottles from all my friends that drink. I saved them all week and put them in the back, a couple of funnels. I had her collecting all her uncles and all the drunks in her family empty bottles. I would go to Milwaukee Saturday night and I would sell liquor all day Sunday. Yeah, but then I wouldn't say it was no I was not really enchanted with my wife, so I was gonna dump her anyway. I was gonna dump her anyway because I wasn't satisfied with the way she was functioning. So she didn't get that 100% vibe because I was like, ugh. But if it wasn't for the money, I wouldn't have did that. It was strictly for the money. I was making a fortune. Yeah, I was making a fortune. So we're gonna break that down because you got hustlers and you got businessmen. Now a hustler hustles legally. That means you're moving quick to get money. You hustler. You what? Hey, I could go do this on the internet. I can make some money. Go over here and do this. That's a hustler. But a hustler will do illegal things. A hustler will do illegal things. A hustler avoids sleazeball stuff because it mess up the hustle. Right? Now a businessman is a hustler too, but the difference is you don't call a businessman a hustler because a businessman will not do nothing illegal. Once a businessman starts doing illegal stuff, that's not a businessman, that's a hustler. Let's take a break and then we're going to get to why I'm talking about all this, all right? Real talk. Keep it gangster though. And so hustlers might do something illegal. So hustlers keep the same rules as gangsters, same rules. And a hustler will do something illegal. Some hustlers don't. Some hustlers will. And a hustler might have to do something gangster. So you're not a gangster, but you might have to, especially if you're doing something illegal, because you'll get ran over because you might be hustling and dealing with sleazeballs, right? So a hustler can be legal or illegal, and a hustler will get gangster. Don't have no choice. Got to do what you got to do for the business. A businessman, strictly legal. Now, what I'm talking about this for is there's been some situation with some rappers. And y'all all know what I'm talking about. But I'm not like your typical content creator. I still go by the rules. So I'm not in the streets, but I still uphold the street rules if I'm dealing with street stuff. Now, the street rules really a lot of times don't make no sense. The rules that they go by in the streets, they're really wrong. Everything they tell you in the street about snitching and all that, that's all incorrect. That's 100% incorrect. They making it up as they go. It is 100% incorrect. What they telling you all about snitching is incorrect. They telling you that if somebody do something to me, I'm supposed to go put my life on the line and possibly go to the penitentiary trying to get some get back. Now, if somebody do something to me bogus, they trying to beat me out, and I go and do something criminal to them and go to prison, they won. Once you get locked up, the other person won. So that stuff they saying, that's all nonsense. 100% nonsense. What they say about snitching is wrong. And I've seen a couple of brothers on the internet, I ain't gonna say no names, they be talking about snitching and all that. And I'm saying to myself, bro, you did 1,000 years in the prison. Why would anybody listening to you? You stupid. You know, you got these convicts that been in the prison a long time and try to teach the shorties. You've already taught us that you a dumbass. Why would we listen to somebody that did 15, 10, 20, 15, 25 years in prison? Gonna come out and tell you about the streets. And it didn't even work for them. I'm just saying. So there's this situation went down. And they saying, right? They saying that the rapper that was violated ain't supposed to say nothing. Ain't supposed to go to the police. Now, I'm not saying no names because we don't speak on upcoming cases, right? So I'm not going to be saying all that. I don't want to talk about the case and all that. I just want to talk about the principle behind the snitching. That's all nonsense. So they saying that one rapper got violated bad. And they saying the rapper that got violated ain't supposed to tell the police. They supposed to go on the streets and risk their life for get back. This is the idiots that ain't no gangsters. They not no gangsters. Them ain't no gangsters. Because old school gangsters, Bugs Moran had police working for them. And they used to tip off where Al Capone's liquor at and used to send the police to bust Al Capone's liquor operation. And they was gangsters. How you gonna say gangsters don't tell the police when gangsters have police on the payroll? Make some sense. Make it make some sense. It was known that the Irish gangsters had Irish police working for them. All right. That's not snitching, that's gangsters. What? So they telling me you can come and you could beat me up and you could hurt me. I'm not supposed to go tell the police. I'm supposed to go by some rules. That's what they say. I'm supposed to go by some rules. I'm supposed to go handle it. That's the dumbest shit ever. What the hell? There is cases for no snitching, but they not using it correctly. It's a fact. They is lying to you about snitching. They lying. Snitching is very specific. Not what they saying. That's not snitching. Snitching is based on respect and honor and owing the other person so you don't snitch. That's it. If there's no honor, there's no such thing as no snitching. There's only no snitching in honor. In the gangster world, there's an honor code. And that honor code is the reason you don't snitch. Get some more likes up. Why we only got 35 likes and 67 people? Hit the like button. What y'all doing? You see the scroll? Run the likes up. So look, that's all nonsense. And you can give me your biggest, baddest penitentiary gangster. They can come into my life, or I can go into their life, and I'm going to shut them down. That's all. That's nonsense. That's not true. Okay, snitching, right? Let me give y'all an example of what not to snitch. This is snitching. Me and Rastaman and G-Rock, we break into some business and we take the money out the safe. We leaving out the business. Police run up. We scatter. Right? Police run up. We scatter, right? They catch me. G-Rock and Rastaman get away. They ask me who with me. If I tell who was with me, that is snitching. That is snitching. Why? Because there was honor between us. We was doing this together. I did it knowing the risk involved. I got caught and they didn't. I'm supposed to go do my time and I'm not supposed to tell on them. That's snitching. That is snitching. That is snitching. Hold on a minute. That is snitching. Right? Facts. That is snitching. They got away. I didn't. They didn't do anything to me. I got caught. The police say I'm looking at 15 years, but if I tell, I could get probation. They can do the 15 years. I'm going to do the 15 years. Why? We all signed up to do this crime. I got caught. I got to stand on my square. Wasn't nobody with me. It was just me. Period. I don't know nothing. I ain't seen nothing. I got to take my lick because I decided to go do this knowing I could go to jail or prison and I'm not supposed to try to cut no deal and send them up the river so I could get out of being in trouble for something I knew I was going to get in trouble for. That is snitching. That is the honor code. I honor them. They got away. Good for them. I got caught. Hey, we all three could have got caught. Two of us could have got caught. Hey, it is what it is. I know what I signed up for. Now, on the other hand, you come to me with weapons and you beat me all up and you rob me and everything. I don't owe you shit. I don't owe you no honor. Ain't no snitching rules don't apply to that. You violated me. I don't give a damn if you get 1,000 years. I'm telling. I'm trying to get you slammed. I'm not finna go out here now and try to get some get back and go to prison. And now you done robbed me, you done beat me up, and I'm the one in prison? No. Now they say, Pharaoh, that's not gangster. That's very gangster. That's gangster. Because when I tell on you, what you gonna do about it? I'm a gangster. Not only that, you might not get out of prison. Because from a gangster point of view, me telling on you going to prison, that's the way I can have you sit still so I can get some get back. I know where you at. Now that's gangster. That I tell on you, you go to prison and you never make it out alive. That is gangster. Now, I'm not promoting violence. I'm just telling you the difference. A gangster don't go by no rules unless it's honorable, period. If I'm a gangster and I tell, what you gonna do about it? That's the part I don't understand. What you gonna do about it? I don't owe you nothing. I don't owe you no respect. I don't owe you no honor code. I don't owe you no snitching code. No snitching code is for when we all in something together and I don't know. I decide when I'm a snitch and when I'm not. Let's say I know you. My next door neighbor is Miss Thurman. Nice lady. I've been knowing her since I was a baby. And I know you. And I look out my window. I see you done broke in Miss Thurman's house, took her stuff, and running out of that old lady house. The police come. I'm going to go out there and say, y'all seen who it was. It was Craig so-and-so. Broke in the house, took this lady's shit. That's not snitching. You's a bum. I'm really supposed to do something to you, but I don't want to risk my life doing something to you. So I tell the police you broke in a lady's house. Then, if you get crazy, then I'll do something to you. So then, while you fighting your case and you walk up to me on the street, say, I heard you told, then it's going to go ugly because I say you broke in the old lady's house. What if that was my mama's house? Because you a two-bit thief. You ain't no gangster. Yeah, so I told him it was you. Do something about it. So that's why I say I don't know what a gangster is. So yeah, I'll tell on you. I'll tell you I told on you, and you not going to do nothing. But I'm not going to risk none of my manpower doing something to you, and they catch a case for you. Let the police lock you up. You're a scumbag, okay? Show me where the Italians didn't protect the community. Not snitching is based on honor. Once you dishonorable, that rule do not apply. What they did to that rapper was not honorable. I don't care if he gave him a bad contract or whatever. He invited them there in good faith. They come in there and do all that goofy shit. They supposed to get 1,000 years. They ain't have to do all that. They had to do all that. The brother that did it, he had enough time to make his own money. He didn't even have to worry about none of that. He come out of the joint hot as fish grease. Bro was hot. He was gonna be filthy rich anyway. The hell you crash out like that for? Sloppy like that. And now they trying to say the other person told, like he don't have the right to tell. He got a right to tell. Once you put your hands on me, once you do something to me, I don't owe you nothing. I don't owe you no code. I don't owe you no code. And if you're a gangster, you apply the code. Nobody cannot apply no code to no gangster. You can't apply no code to no gangsters. So when they do tomorrow, gangsters don't do this, gangsters do whatever the hell they want to do. It don't make no sense. Gangsters go by their own rules. That's why they're gangsters. So I'm hearing these dudes try to talk, the street code. Man, the street code what? Why the street code don't say if somebody invites you to see them, go there with open hands. Don't go snake them. That's the street code to snake dude? Dude obviously was meeting you, trying to work something out. Or he wouldn't even met with you. So you're going to fool somebody that you come to meet him on good principles, then you're going to do all that? Not only do you do him bogus, you crash out, get your whole team locked up. What's gangster about that? You took all these people to do all this stuff. You had a goofy recording it and all that. That ain't gangster, that's goofy. Now the person you did it to, he got every right to tell, and now he ain't breaking no rules. There was no code. The code of the streets is based on honor. And once anything is dishonorable, all codes is canceled. You touch my sister, you touch my mama, you do anything that break the code, there is no code. It's all fair in love and war. They've been told you that decades, centuries ago. It's all fair in love and war. And so once you go to war with me, what you mean I'm breaking the rules? Ain't no rules. Ain't no damn rules. And if I tell, I'll get on the news and tell everybody in the city I told, and I'll come outside, and if I'm a gangster, who gonna walk up on me? Because my rules is just a penalty for walking up on me. That's a rule. That's a penalty right there. So, okay, you say, yeah, you told. My whole response is, hey, do something about it. It's real simple. Do something about it. We gangsters. We on the devil's side. Why you trying to have some righteousness with gangster stuff? That's why you don't be no gangster. They trying to have some righteous rules with gangsters. Like, what? Wait, but they trying to have some decent rules with gangsters. That don't even make no, like, okay, wait, decent rules with gangsters? Really? Do that make any sense to y'all? Hit the like, get my likes up. I hope my likes at least at 100. That makes sense? We scum buckets and we got scum bucket rules. That makes sense? Are you going to go do all this stuff, violate this man? He ain't supposed to call the police? He's supposed to go by some goofy ass rules? That's what I'm saying. And they trying to say it's a code for snitching. No, snitching is based on getting somebody in trouble that got away with something and nobody know they did it. That is snitching. Snitching got nothing to do with nobody doing nothing to you. Snitching got something to do with you across the street, you selling product. I know you selling product. The police bust you. They come and ask me what I know about. I don't know nothing. That's snitching. I don't know nothing. You ain't done nothing to me. You ain't broke no code with me. So I don't know nothing. Snitching is putting somebody in trouble and it ain't got nothing to do with you. That's snitching. Putting somebody in trouble that did something with you and you got caught, and to get out of your crime, you tell. Or getting in trouble for something and then you tell on somebody else that's breaking the law to try to get less time. That is snitching. Snitching is when you tell on somebody that's got nothing to do with you, that ain't did nothing to you, because you don't want to do your own time for your own crime. That is snitching. Period. They ain't trying to make anything as snitching. Somebody could pistol with me and all that, and I ain't supposed to call the police, because that's snitching. Man, what? Hold on, let's take another break. So the rapper that got violated, if he tell everything, if he go to court, that ain't snitching. He don't owe them nothing. That's not snitching. That's not snitching. That's not snitching. That's not snitching. They just making up anything. That's not snitching. You went over there, you did something crazy, illegal to somebody. They should not go put themselves in jeopardy for get back and then throw their life away. You know what I'm saying? So either they got to take that or get you locked up. They supposed to get you locked up. This whole thing where they telling shorties, you got to go get back. You know how many shorties in prison for the get back? Where the original person shot at them? They went and shot back and they the ones got caught? And they went to prison trying to get back? What make the most sense? Go to prison trying to get back, or if it's that bad, call the police to get them off you. Hey, dude and them keep shooting at me. Lock their ass up. No, on the streets, they telling you supposed to go put your life on the line to go to prison to prove some kind of street code. And in the streets, 80% of the time, you're not snitching on somebody that would definitely snitch on you. You're the only fool playing. You're the only fool playing the game. Because if the shoe's on the other foot, they gonna tell. 80% of the time. 80% of the time, the person you don't tell on will tell on you. 80% of the time, you're the only fool going by the rules. That's a fact. You're the only fool going by the rules. If you put your hands on me, there ain't no damn rules, bro. If you put your hands on me, if you rob me anything, there ain't no rules, boy. There ain't no rules. I wouldn't give a damn. I'd get right on the stand. Yeah, him. He did it. They said that ain't gangster. That's very gangster, because what you gonna do about it? That's what's gangster. What's gangster is ain't nobody gonna do nothing about it. That's what gangster. They not teaching y'all what's gangster. What's gangster is I'm gonna tell them you did it, and I'm gonna still walk around outside, and ain't nobody better not say nothing to me. Because that's how I'm going to earn my gangster points. If you try to say something about it, I'm going to show you why you shouldn't have said nothing. Yeah, you shouldn't have said nothing. Them ain't the real rules. I'm telling the real rules. Them ain't the real street rules. Them not the rules. Nobody can say nothing to me. They lying. They are lying. That is not the rules. Snitching is when you get caught and you tell on somebody else to get off. That is snitching. Point blank, period. Snitching is when you do something with somebody and you get caught and you tell on them to get off. That is snitching. And it ain't no penitentiary dude or nobody can tell me nothing other than that. If you locked up in the joint and you in there making hooch or something with somebody and you get caught with the hooch and then you go tell on everybody that helped you make it, that is snitching. Facts. Snitching is when you do something with somebody and you tell on them so you can get off. That is snitching. That is the real snitching. That's snitching. That I'm out here slinging and they catch me and they ask me whom I connect and all that I tell. That's snitching. But if you break in my house or rob my mama or rob me or do anything to break the code, that's not snitching. Snitching is clear. You're 100% right. Snitching is telling on somebody that didn't get caught so you can get off. You asked something, let me see. And snitching don't apply to civilians, right? Just criminals that's doing illegal activity. Snitching do not apply to civilians at all. Because what are civilians supposed to do if they don't tell? Now, it do apply to civilians when they telling something that ain't none of their damn business. That's snitching. If I got my crib and I'm selling out my crib and you live on the block and it ain't bothering you and you call the police, you's a rat. What you calling the police for? That's a snitch. Yes, a civilian can be a rat and a snitch because you telling something that ain't got nothing to do with you, that ain't affecting you no kind of way. That's a snitch. Yeah, that's a snitch. That's a snitch. Telling something, it ain't got nothing to do with you. You what we used to call a tattletale. Use a tattletale. Now, if I'm hustling and I live next door to you across the street and the people come to my thing is affecting you, saying stuff to your wife, saying something to your children, and you tell, that's not snitching. Because I broke the honor code by putting your family in a bad situation. But if what I'm doing ain't affecting you none, you just don't like it, and you tell you's a rat. You's a rat. You should just mind your business. If somebody at your job stealing supplies, and don't nobody know who's stealing them, and you go tell, you's a snitch, you's a rat. What do I think about his security? I feel like his security wasn't on security because they thought this was all in good faith. They invited dude there for something positive. They didn't invite him there for that. They never in their life thought he was going to come on that type of time. So they wasn't on that type of time. Tattletale, we could tell you, oh, you could look at me and see my age. So you don't need me to say tattletale to tell them old. And what's wrong being old? You don't want to be old. Let me teach you something. Anytime you mock old, You're going to pass away early. Now, you better think to yourself when you get off here, do you want to live to be old or not? Because if old is funny and is a bad thing, you just told the power that be that you want to pass away early. That's what you just said. You said you don't want to live to be old, which means you could check out tomorrow and there'd be no more yellow smiley faces. Yeah, you could have a stroke or a heart attack. Get yourself together. You cursing your own life. You saying you don't want to live. You don't want to be old. Whereas me, I'm 68. I want to be 100. You young, you don't want to be. Yeah, you don't want to live long. That's what you just told the universe. They say even trying, say the security guard should have kept quiet and been solid. No. You violated. There's no rules. That's fake. That's fake. These generations start making up stuff. They start making up snitch rules. If you go talk to 5 dudes about snitching, they're gonna all say something different. They just making it up. And then you gotta understand, a lot of them is uneducated. Why we only got 66 likes with 150 people? Hit the like button. A lot of them uneducated. So when you listen to uneducated people try to philosophize and tell you something, it's always gonna be wrong. You don't listen to nobody in and out of jail, in and out of penitentiary tell you what's snitch. They dumb as hell. That's why they in and out of jail. That's why they in and out. They're the ones making up the rules. The one always in prison. Now tell me something. You want your children to listen to somebody can't stay out of prison to tell you the way to live? You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I see one brother, he telling all the rules, but he did 1,000 years in prison. And I just being nice. I don't go on people comment. But if I was live on this page, I'll tell them, I said, well, why should we listen to you? You constantly went to prison. In real life, you dumb. Why would I listen to you? I never been to prison. Who should they listen to? Me that never been to prison? Or some dude bragging he been in prison? I did 20 years. I did 30 years. I really know. No, you don't. That's why you did 20 years. Because you slow. Duh. Then people talking street rules be uneducated. Educated people ain't talking about no street rules. Intelligent people that's got good job, making money, highly intelligent, they ain't talking about no street rules. Ain't nothing but dummies talking about the street rules. No, man, somebody do something for you. You're supposed to go slide. You're supposed to go put your life in danger. You ain't supposed to call the police. You're supposed to go out there and catch 20 years. You're supposed to catch 20 years. You're supposed to stand on that. Every time and the same dude telling you supposed to stand on, you're supposed to slide. When he slide, he snitch. He don't stand on nothing. Yeah, them people tell you to stand on something. Them people tell you don't snitch, will snitch on you in 20 seconds. The same one telling you don't snitch. We got a big old hustler out now. Told. He told. I ain't got to say on. He told. He worked with somebody outside that went and told. And yes, you can have somebody snitch for you if the district attorney or the state's attorney, if the attorney general, whoever, agree to it. You can have somebody work a case for you and get somebody else busted, and you can get less time. That's a fact. You can get less time if you let them people in there know you're going to send somebody to catch some cases for them. They'll be like, well, Pharaoh, if your girlfriend can catch a couple of cases for us, we'll give you an early release. Facts. Facts. Super facts. I ain't said no names. I don't say names. That ain't got. I ain't said nobody's name since I've been over here. I ain't said nobody's name. If y'all drop names, that's on y'all. I ain't said nobody's name. I don't do that. I ain't saying no names. The only way I'm gonna say a name is if it's a trial and I'm talking about the trial, why the trial is happening. But in these circumstances, on name drop. I don't name drop. Yeah, it's called comprehension till they catch your ass outside. It's comprehension when you say it, when you don't believe you never got to see them. But if you mess around, got to see them. Don't cry. That's all I'm saying. That's all. Keep dropping names and see how that go for you. Some of y'all think y'all can hide on this internet. You can't hide on this internet. You ain't even built like that, or you wouldn't be dropping names. Stay in your lane. You a working square. You not that. You're not no gangster. So just stay in your lane. Just be a good guy on the internet, a good boy. The security guard was a police officer. What do you want him to do? He gave a report. He didn't tell. He gave a report on what happened. That's what he's supposed to do. When you got, listen, when you hire an off-duty police officer, you know they got to make reports, right? They can't just work for you because they're already police officers. Did y'all know that? Do y'all know if I hire an off-duty police officer, when he go with me, he have to make a report on what happened, right? Because the off-duty police officer can carry their weapon all across state, everywhere. So they have to make a report because they're always a police, whether they're at work or not. They're a sworn officer. So now that officer got to make a report. Ain't no ifs, ands, or buts about it. They were stupid for going in there. Then one of their own people recorded it. A police officer got to make a report. So the criminals were some dumbasses. They don't know that. You don't know. You going in a place with an off-duty police officer? That's the criminal, supposed to know the rules. If that off-duty police officer don't report what happened, he lose his badge, he lose everything, his pension and everything. He lose everything. My cousin, an off-duty police officer, I take him with me. Like when I go on my book tour, I'm going to have an off-duty police officer with me. Now, he got the right to defend me just for your safety. But whatever happened, he got to tell the whole thing. Because I'm a felon and I can't do what I want to do to you, so I got to take help. If it wasn't for me being a felon, I wouldn't need them. I would just take care of that myself. That's another story for another day. I ain't young thug. I'm old thug. I'm just saying. You understand? So, like I said, whoever planned that ain't the brightest bulb in the lamp. The whole plan, come on. The whole plan was crazy. Let's take another break. part of the job occupation, if you're an illegal hustler, a gangster, a criminal, part of that job description is knowing how much time you get, making sure you don't get no time. That's the part of the job description. That's why I'm saying them the kind of people they be listening to that ain't the brightest bulb in the lamp. A part of being a gangster, part of being a criminal. The number one part of being a criminal is not getting caught. That's first. Then how much money you get is second, because getting caught means no money, right? So if you end the crime for money, you don't want to pay no lawyer. You don't want to pay no court fees. You don't want to pay no bail. And you don't going to get locked up because now you can't make no money. How could you make money if you're doing 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, 30 years? That goes against making money. So the first thing is don't get caught, period. No, these criminals nowadays, the first thing they think about is the crime. No, first thing you think about is the time. That's the first thing you ask. Well, if we get caught, how much time is that? Oh, that's 8 to 20. No, count me out. Maybe if you would have said 3 to 5, I might have tried it. For 3 to 5. But 8 to 20? No. That numbers don't add up. Go to the county jail or go to the penitentiary. All the OGs that been locked up, that's the first thing they tell you. The main thing they tell you is how much time you get for that crime. They experts at it. Oh, I wouldn't do that. That's 15. You're getting 15 off the top. Everything, once they've been in and out of prison, they judge everything on how much time you get. That's it. If they knew what they was doing, how much time, a dude get life. He might get out at 65 or something, but he gone a long time. He going bye. He got crazy. Man, I don't even want to talk about that because that's not what I'm talking about. But that's just proof that in that world, they not that smart. Most of us that hustle and did illegal activity, like me that never been to prison, I never been to prison because I never had no accomplices. I was always dolo for solo. Always for solo. The only person I ever had with me wasn't a person, and it don't talk, it barks. That's it. It don't talk. I never put nobody in my business. I didn't hang out. I didn't socialize. And you know, when I want to pick up a package, you got to come by yourself. You can't pull up on me with no dudes in the car, none of that. I didn't do no hanging out. I didn't do no socializing, none. That's why I'm like a god in that world. Because I ain't never been to prison. And I ain't never told. And you know why I never told? Because I never did nothing. That's why. Because you got to tell because you were sloppy and got caught and they know you did something. Or you told because you told them you did something. And once you tell them you do something, you didn't cop the plea. You going to prison. You didn't told. So now you got to tell on somebody you didn't gave yourself a case. I never gave myself a case because I never did nothing. See, once I admit I did something, now I'm doing time straight up. Right? So now they telling me, well, you're looking at 15. You already said it was yours. You said you got it from Kenny. See what I'm saying? So when you snitch, you're snitching second. The first thing you're doing is is saying you guilty. They came to me one time for some green, like a couple LBs. And they said, who do I get it from? Right? So if I would have said, I got it from so-and-so, I'm guilty. Now I'm guilty. Period. I got a case. I got a case. Regardless of the other person, I just called a case. I just admitted I got it. They got it on file. He said he got it from Cassandra. Okay, you had it. You going to prison, period. You going to jail, period. Now, if you want to get out of this, set up Cassandra. That's how the game goes. So when they asked me, where'd you get it from? I said, get what? That ain't mine. That's what I said. Get what? I don't know nothing about that. I don't got nothing. And I don't got nothing else to say. I got the right to remain silent. Because what they tell you, anything. See, people don't listen to the word anything. You got the right to remain silent because anything said can be held against you in the court of law. Not the bad things, anything. Anything. And that just don't say can. They say anything, you say can and will. Now take can out. If you take can out, what is it? Anything said will be held against you in the court of law. Anything. Anything will be held against you. They say can and will. Everybody think about the can, but they let you know no matter what you say, we're going to hold it against you. We're going to go in that courtroom and the prosecutor going to use every word you said against you in the court of law. You don't say nothing. You say very few words. So I didn't say nothing. I said, it ain't mine. So you got to go to the courtroom and they say, when he was arrested, what he said it wasn't him. He is the same thing. You know what I'm saying? He said it wasn't him. You understand? He said it wasn't him. Just like that. And so this is a big old mess. And they telling young people the wrong information about snitching. What they telling them is snitching is not snitching. What they telling them. Snitching is when you put somebody in something that ain't in it. They not in it and you put them in it. So you could get less time. That's snitching. They not in it. You in it. And for you to get out of it, you tell on somebody else. Sometimes they start working. They send you out to make a couple buys to get somebody else. That's snitching. But if somebody violates you, somebody physically hurts you, somebody do something to you, that's not snitching. Because you're not telling on no innocent person. You telling on somebody that really did it. That's not snitching. If you come and beat me up and do all that and I tell, that's not snitching. How the hell that's snitching? So what I'm supposed to do, just take that? Because that's what they try to teach the youth. That's why so many youth is in prison. Because these so-called OGs and these people telling them, go take the law into their own hands. Somebody do something to them, get away with it. They go do something back and they the ones get caught. You know how many times the person that's getting revenge get caught, but the initiator don't? Because that's basically what they telling you. Go let the first person get away, right? And then you go to prison. And she say, this racist chief has my mental son in jail since January with the charge, with no one to say he done that to. I tell you what, Gloria, go in, email me. And don't the rest of y'all email me and be trolling my email. Hit me there and I'll contact you and see what's going on with that. And so, they're just teaching our youth. They're giving our youth bad information because the streets is telling you, go handle it. Go, right? The streets be telling our youth, if somebody do to you, you got to go handle it and take penitentiary chances. Don't call the police. You go take penitentiary chances. And if you don't want to go take penitentiary chances, they say you soft. You see what I mean? And Pharaoh, even if you're in the streets or was, and they violate you like they did, won't you still not talk? No, what you mean not talk? If I'm in the street, listen, if I'm in the streets, you violate me, you're an enemy, right? If you violate me, you're an enemy, right? Is there any rules for enemies? If you're my enemy, is there rules? If you're my enemy. That's the part they lying to the youth. If you're my enemy, I don't give a goddamn what happened to you. Yeah, I'll tell on you. I try to get you 1,000 years. You're my enemy. What are you talking? You're my enemy. Yes, I would call the police. He did it. Him. He came on Thursday. He did this. He did that. He do that. Lock him up. You were the enemy. You're the enemy. They saying I'm supposed to have rules for the enemy. No, I have no rules for the enemy. As a matter of fact, any real gangsters will tell you they would prefer getting you locked up so they got you somewhere where they can have revenge. So they would prefer to have you locked up, right? And then send a kite in there and make sure you never get out. It's real gangster. It's not, people understand gangster is treacherous. There's not no rules like that when it comes to scumbag. If you a scumbag, there's no rules. If you try to do something to me, listen, ain't nobody saying what I'm saying, but that's how it really is, though. They just don't want to say it. There's not no rules if you're my enemy. The only thing when you're my enemy is that you gotta lose. I gotta get you fucked up some kind of way, any kind of way. I don't care what ruined your life. You're my enemy. And I challenge anybody to show me where gangsters in the roaring 20s didn't call the police. How you think they knew what Al Capone was doing and raided his liquor spots? Because Bugs Moran told them. Show me where original gangsters didn't have police working for them and didn't sick the police on each other. That's a part of gangsters. Is to have police on the payroll. If I got a police on the payroll and send them after you, that's not snitching? That's snitching. There's not no rules. That's why I'm trying to tell the young brothers, listen, this is how I go. If you want to be a gangster, that means you want to play with the devil. See, you got the righteous side with the Most High, and you got Satan. If you go play with Satan, is there rules? If you're playing with the devil, with weapons and unaliving people and hurting people and doing all kinds of crimes, Is there rules on that side? How you gonna be doing demonic stuff and have rules? When I'm in the streets, I'm the devil and I have no rules. Duh. I don't got no rules. I don't care what happened to you. And I'm a gangster. I'll get right on the stand in front of everybody and say, yeah, him and him. And then you'll be there with your family talking about what you're going to do to me when I walk out the courtroom. And when I walk out the courtroom, it'll be 12 dudes out there already. Already done told the guys, come up here, because his family might come up here and might want to get busy, might want to get done dirty. And I'll have them gangsters out there. When your family, when you walk out, you be ask your family where you was at. They're going to say, well, them dudes was out there. What dudes? His dudes. Because they don't give a damn what I do long as I pay them. Money talks and bullshit walk. If I pay them, they're going to ride out. It's gangster. And when I go back to the sport with the guys, and when the guy like, dang, Pharaoh, you got on the stand and told on dude, I'll be like, fuck dude. That's what I'm gonna tell them. What else we got to do today? I'm telling you, come on, man. I'm telling. You do me dirty. I'm telling. I don't care what happened to you. There's no rules. I just know that. There's no rules. There's not no rules. The only rules I got is don't tell on nobody that ain't did nothing to get off. That means if I go cop a couple birds from you and I go get caught with the birds, I ain't going to tell them where I got them from. That's breaking the rules because you ain't done nothing to me. You sold me a couple birds. I got caught with them. I got to handle that. I don't know where they came from. That's snitching. Snitching is if I go pick up some birds from you, I leave, the police catch me, and I tell them where I got them from. That is snitching. And it ain't no OG or nobody can tell me I'm lying. That's snitching. When when somebody else is not in trouble, and I tell on you, and you're not in trouble, nobody know you did nothing, and to get out of trouble, I tell on you, that is snitching. But if I go and I give you $5,000 and you sell me some bad work and you done cheated me and I send them boys to kick your dough in, that's not snitching. That's gangster. Oh, you stole me some bad stuff and ran off with my buddy? Hey, DEA, go kick at the door at 514 normal. Yeah. Don't take my money and then tell me I need to be stand up. You were supposed to be stand up and give me what I paid for. But now you saying I need to be stand up? Bro, we already sitting down. Bro, once you rob me, we already sitting down. Ain't no more standing up. No, I'm on some Malcolm X by any means necessary. You got to go. Now you want me to be an angel and you a snake and you took my money. You a snake. You want me to be an angel. Police. What you want me to do? You want me to go and go to the penitentiary trying to do something to you or you didn't rob me? Why would I go to the penitentiary? I'm a gangster. I'm smart. I'm not finna come and do nothing to you. And then I'm in the penitentiary. You done took $30,000 from me and you free. And I'm locked up. That's a sucker. Listen, if somebody cheat me out of $30,000, should I go try to do something to him and go to prison? He still got the $30,000 and I'm in prison. Or should I tell the police, let him go to prison, find out where he at, Because I can't put a bag, it's easier to put a bag on your head if I can get the police to, I'm just trying to get the police to put you somewhere. You know what I'm saying? Then we go from there. Somebody going to get some commissary and you going bye-bye. Come on, man. They say, Pharaoh, why you do that? Because guess what? if I'm in the streets and hustling. I am the devil. Okay. When I was hustling, I was the devil. Okay. I was Lucifer's little brother. Okay. Period. And Lucifer don't see nothing righteous. He only collect wicked. So as long as you was righteous, I don't see you because I'm Lucifer. But as soon as you bogus and you dirty and you slimy, I zoom in on you. Yeah, you got to go to hell. I don't zoom in on the ones going to heaven. I just zoom in on the ones going to hell. You's a scumbag. You don't get no rules. There's no rules. All those rules is based on honor. Once you dishonorable, those rules don't apply. Those rules only apply honorable. If I come to you, I get 2 birds. You sold me what I was supposed to get. It's good stuff. And I get caught with it. You honorable. I'm not telling on you. You didn't do nothing. I got caught. Hey, I knew what I was in. I don't know nothing. I ain't seen nothing. And it's not mine. I'm not telling. But if you cheated me, what you mean street rules? The street rules is sell me what I paid for. You's a scumbag. So you telling me I can't go snitch on a scumbag? I got to play by rules for a scumbag? No, if you're a scumbag, we doing scumbaggedness. You ain't the only scumbag then. Hey, you treat righteousness with righteousness. You treat wickedness with wickedness. And you treat a scumbag with scumbagness. You know, if you're a scumbag, that's what we doing. We doing scumbag stuff bad. I bet I'd be more scummier than you. Hey, ain't no rules when you a scumbag. The moral of the story, stay out of it. Stay out of the streets. But you can't tell no gangster nothing. Right. They try to trick you, right, to jag your life out, trying to prove you're going by street rules when there ain't no rules. There ain't no rules like that. There's no street rules. There is no rules in the streets. There are people in the streets that got rules. There are individuals that got rules, but that's that individual. That's not the streets. My man I used to get stuff from, he had rules. The street didn't have no rules. That's why I only cop from him, because he had rules. Once I get out there in the street with somebody else, ain't no rules. I mean, I've been in a situation where I bought bad work, took it home, it wasn't no good. I go back to the location. It go just like this. I throw it on the table. I say, give me my money back. This ain't no good. And when I walk into your spot and you there, and I throw that stuff up there when I done gave you $8,000, and I don't say, hey man, this ain't no good, man, and I don't do all that. I throw that shit up there and I say, this ain't no good. Give me my money back. And when I say that, the line is drawn in the sand right there. You only got one choice to go get that money. I don't even say it like it's options. I don't even talk to you like, oh, come back another. No, it's clear. This ain't no good. Give me my money back. That's it. That's how I used to function. And they'd be like, okay, Ram, and they go give me my money back. Because 2 things finna happen. You're going to give me my money back, or all this money in here finna be gone. That's on you. Because I got to charge you if I got to work to get my money back. That's going to cost you. That's going to cost you everything in here. That's going to cost you all the money in here. And some other things, because I can't let you come back unless you Dracula. No, you can't come back. Yeah. That's why I'm trying to tell you, stay out the streets. It's ruthless. It's ruthless. I'm just saying. So all that stuff they talking about, oh, street code, and all that's a lie. That's a lie. There's no street code. There's only codes between honorable men. The streets ain't got no codes. They lying. The streets is a myth. They lying. The streets are a myth. Young people, listen to me. The streets is a myth. The streets is a myth. It's not real. Let's take another break. So in this situation everybody talking about, they said dude shouldn't tell. First off, he don't got to tell. You did everything on camera. You broke a whole bunch of rules that ain't got nothing to do with him. It was a whole bunch of witnesses. There was a police officer that could tell. So dude don't even got to tell. Dude don't got to say nothing. The victim don't got to say nothing. They already told on themselves. He ain't going to say nothing. He ain't going in that courtroom, and he don't have to. He don't have to. You didn't did it in front of everybody. You know what I'm saying? You didn't did it in front of everybody. They'll tell your son don't snitch, and your son will be the only one to go to prison. And your son won't snitch on them dudes, but if them dudes had the opportunity, they would snitch on your son. That is a fact. A lot of times, these young brothers, they not snitching on somebody that would definitely snitch on them. That's a fact. That's why, young brothers, if you get in trouble, you broke the law or something, they put you in the county jail. You got to be in there for so many days till your mama or whoever come and bail you out. When you go in the county jail, keep your damn mouth shut. And if you want to say something to them other inmates, you tell them all you innocent. It wasn't yours. You didn't do it. I didn't do it. I didn't do it. I didn't do it. Because when I was in the county jail, if I would have told any of them dudes the details of my case, when I finally got my trial and I was sitting in that courtroom, they would have called one of them dudes I was locked up with. We called Corey Jacobs to the stand. Corey gonna get on the stand and say, yeah, I was locked up with Pharaoh. He told me it was his. He told me his wife knew where it was. He told me, they gonna tell. They gonna tell. I told everybody in the county jail, it wasn't mine. It wasn't mine. I'm in here for something. I didn't even tell them the details. They said, what you in here for? For they lying on me, saying I did something that I didn't. Just like that. I told everybody. I lied. I never told nobody the truth. If you got a case and you got to go to court and you got to lie to save yourself, tell everybody that lie. Tell your mama that lie. Tell your daddy that lie. Tell everybody the same story. Don't tell nobody the truth. Nobody. Not your lawyer. Nobody. Tell everybody the story you got to tell to beat your case. So that way, by the time you get to trial, you saying it is believable. You almost start to believe it. You never tell the truth. Tell the story that you're going to tell the judge. Every day. Anytime you talk about it, whatever you're going to say in court, say that all the time. Or don't say nothing. But never tell the truth. Never confess to your crime nowhere to nobody. Not your mama, not your daddy, not your sister, nobody. You tell everybody, I didn't do it. And even if you found guilty, if they got on record that you always say you didn't do it, and you come up early to see if they release you, it's going to say, he always claimed he was innocent, they're going to let you out. As long as it say, he always claimed his innocence, you're going to get out early. But if it say he confessed, they let you out when they get ready. Because it's all, no matter if they find you guilty, that's because it was beyond probable a shadow of a doubt, but there's still, it might just be 55% beyond a shadow of a doubt, and 45% you was right. And so they're going to consider, well, it still was 45% he was telling the truth. It's only 100% you're guilty when you admit to it. When you admit to it, it's beyond a shadow of a doubt. You absolutely did it. You have to keep that shadow of a doubt when you got a case. Don't confess ever. I didn't do it. Then you got a chance to get out early. They write all that down. All that's taken into consideration. I'm giving you game. But the best way to beat that is don't be doing crimes. Don't do the crime if you can't do the time. Stay away from criminals. Because if you're around criminals, out of 10, it's only going to be one stand up. The other 9 ain't going to be no good. And if you ain't good with finding that one and only dealing with that one, you going to prison. My man I used to cop from, he already know. When you come to bring me something, nobody can be with you. Don't pull up on me with nobody else in the car or the truck. When I come by your house to pick up something, let me know if it's somebody there. I'll come when nobody's there. I don't want nobody in our business, period. This is just between you and me. That way, I ain't got to worry about no loose ends and nobody going to snitch because don't nobody know nothing. That's why I never been to prison. Also, young brothers, you get in trouble. You go to jail. They throw the case out. You get in trouble again, they might throw it out. They might give you probation. That's it. Quit. Because 3 strikes, your ass out. Go back in there again the 3rd time. You're going to prison. So when you start, they're going to give you a couple times. But after 2 times, quit. That's when I got out the game. After 2 serious times in court, I just quit. Okay, the gig is up. I quit. Because if they called me one more time, I would have been bye-bye. That's why I never went to prison. I quit. No, I don't tell nobody the truth. Because if you tell them the truth, you make it. They can't fight for you if you tell them the truth. If you make them believe you're really innocent, they can fight better. If you let them know you're not, answer me this, what you think? If you was my lawyer, which way would you fight hardest for me? If I told you I was innocent or I told you I was guilty? You understand? Once I tell you I'm guilty, you're not going to fight like if I make you believe I'm really innocent. You don't tell nobody you guilty. Your lawyer can't fight your lawyer can't fight if you at the same. Now your lawyer trying to prove you innocent when you guilty. No, you want your lawyer to try to prove you innocent because you say you innocent. And there's a 3-strike law, but I wouldn't have got the 3-strike law because I wouldn't have had no strikes. They wouldn't have considered them no strikes. But they'll look at your rap sheet and let's lock you up because you keep coming into court too much. If you keep coming to court too much, they're gonna lock you up anyway. State what you keep coming in here for. You definitely a good citizen ain't in the courtroom all the time. So you in here now, you in here now, you in here now. Okay, lock his ass up. We ain't already gave you probation. I had a gun case in Evergreen. They gave me a year probation. Then, and all them gun cases was bogus. So that's a whole nother story. Then I caught a gun case out in the south suburbs. Right behind that case, I caught the other case. So I got this case and this case. So my lawyer switched them around and had me take the worst case first with all that stuff. I took that case and I beat it. So then he said, let's bring up the gun case. When I brought up the gun case, the district attorney was like, nah, he done beat too many cases. No, we want 3 years, period. Right off the bat, the DA say, ain't no need us even discussing this. We want 3. He got to do 3 years. Straight like that. The judge and them asked me what I want. I say, Your Honor, I want a continuance. Come back the next month. What you want to do? Continuance. Come back the third month. Continuance. 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 Now, mind you, every continuous, you got to put money in your lawyer's hand. Can you afford that? No. Every continuous, I got to put lawyers in my money hand. And for me to put money in my lawyer's hand, guess what? I'm still taking penitentiary chances to pay the lawyer. So I'm rolling the dice to get money to beat the third case when I barely beat the second one. Finally, they said, all right, we'll give you 2 years probation. I said, bet, I'll take that. So I took the 2 years probation. But I have to pay. You have to pay to play. And if you don't have no money and a really good attorney, and if you cannot pay him every time he walks into the courtroom, he's not going to defend you. And you got to give him a percentage of your bail money when it's done. You have to give him a percentage of that bail money. But you got to pay him every week because he's like, I can't keep coming down here every week. We're going to have to get this over. You're going to have to go do some time because I got other cases and you ain't put no money in my pocket. So if you ain't really getting no serious money and you ain't really no gangster and no real hustler and you ain't really built like that, go do something else. Just the young people, don't do crimes. I was really Dracula, so I could do it. They gave me a $250,000 bail for all these substances I had. I ain't gonna get into that. You read that in the book. That means I need $25,000 to bail out, right? If I got all these, if they saying I'm selling all this stuff, and I come up with $25,000 bail, am I gonna beat my case? No. No job on record, no proof of income. If somebody come down there with the $25,000 to bail you out, They could take the money, the IRS could take the money and charge you with another charge. So rather than get them $25,000, I sat my ass in the county jail and played cards and dominoes and kicked the bobos with the criminals. 1 month. Can I get a lower bail? No. 2 months. Can I get a lower bail? No. 3 months. Can I get a lower bail? No. 4 months. Can I get a lower bail? Oh, he really broke. All right, 150,000. Oh, I'm out of here. When they drop my bail to 150, right? That's 15,000 to what? Anything over 10,000, the IRS can confiscate it until you prove where you got it from. So I had my mother bring $5,000 check. I had my wife bring 5,000, and I had my sister bring 5,000. So nobody had 10,000. It was 3 checks for 5,000. That way nobody could be harassed. They bought the 15,000, and I went on to fight my case. If you ain't that smart, don't be doing crimes. And you really got to be that. I was really that. I was really a monster. I was 40 years old in the Cook County Jail for 4 months with them GDs, them BDs, them Viceroys, them Blackstones, them Latin Kings, them Latin Disciples, all of them. 4 months I was in there with them at 40 years old. 4 months. I went in a civilian, came out a 4-corner hustle. And not because I was scared. I was honorary. and I picked which gang I wanted to be out of the Viceroys. I picked that. That's a fact. And I wasn't nobody to play with. And then it go like this in the county jail. If you're on the deck, whoever on the deck the longest is they deck. Now, when you in the county jail, people, it's in and out, unless you in the building where it's all the murder cases. But I was in the building with the other cases, so it's in and out. So when you come in, if you come in June, by the time you get to July, nobody's in there that was in there when you came. So nobody's in there. I got locked up in 97. Nobody's in there, right, that was in there when you got locked up. That's how it be your debt, because I'm the only one still been here. So most of the times in there, by the time I got ready to go, I was the longest one on that deck. The second longest was my boy. He had been in the county jail in different units for 2 years. But they bounced up to our unit. He was calling it for all of the vice lords in the building under the big man. The big man for the vice lords, he don't make no calls. It's the second in command make all the calls. He just the man. So by the time I left, I was the only one was in there when they brought me in. You can't be caca kikiing. You can't be grinning and skinning. None of that. It's really gangster. So if you ain't built like that, you're going to be dog food in there. You can't go in there. You got to be mean as hell in there. You got to be mean. And I'm skinny. Some of these dudes is big as hell. Now, the bigger they are, the more cooler they are. The real big dudes, they don't do nothing but work out all the time. They ain't no problem. The regular dudes is the problem. Now, you want to go through all that? Man, you could have been and got a trade and made some out yourself. All that crime and all that. If you want to be a rapper and you want to go somewhere, don't be doing no crimes. Just rap. You know what I'm saying? You did 10 years. Well, I'm glad you got out safe. If you know what I'm saying? Don't be doing no crimes and all that shit. Because like this brother said, they're going to take 10 years, 20 years out your life up in there for nothing. And that's the reason I was a God in there, because they're like, damn, Pharaoh, you done did all this. You never told her nothing. You ain't never been to prison. No. In the streets, being a criminal and not going to prison is more praise than going to prison. Facts. I'm like a super God for not going. See, most people think it's honorary to go. No, what's most gangster is to be a criminal and never go. Like myself. That's a fact. Penitentiary dudes and everybody like, damn, Pharaoh, you cold as hell. You never told. You never been to prison. Bro, you ain't never been as much shit as you did? No. And I never told. So they say, well, how you kept getting in trouble and never told? I said, because I never did nothing. There ain't nothing to tell on. I never did nothing. All of this is a misunderstanding. They lying. That's why. They said, then that's some smart ass shit right there. I said, oh, you only tell when you admit to a crime. So you telling to beat your crime. I ain't never did nothing. They lying. All of this is a farce. All this is a lie. I'm a good boy. I'm a good boy. I ain't did none of this. They lying. This is a big farce. This is a travesty. I'm a good guy. None of that stuff is mad. All them gun cases, that was my wife's gun. That was my wife's gun. That wasn't mine. That wasn't mine. I'm a good law-abiding citizen. I would never break the law. That's just ridiculous to think that I would do anything, Your Honor. This is nonsense. I lied so much that once I beat my case, I was still lying 10 years later. Hey, I swear to God, I lied so much saying I didn't do nothing that I finally realized it was 10 years later that I could stop lying. I was still sticking with the lie. You see what I'm saying? It ain't nowhere you want to go. And when I was in there, I was helping young brothers learn how to read. They can't read. They got low IQ. They come from bad families. They on substance abuse, but most of them was dumb. Most of the brothers is illiterate. They dumb when you go to jail. If you pick up and just read books and learn how to read good and learn how to talk and read, you ain't going to go to jail like that. They in front of the judge, Your Honor, almost everybody in there is illiterate. There's hardly nobody in there smart. The only people that was in there smart is the ones that are smart and got on substance abuse and became like junkies. Over 50% is illiterate. The amount of literate in there is more like 80%, 85%. Right? 85%. Yeah. Way more than 50%. Hardly nobody in there. Hardly no. It's 85% in there illiterate. Then there's another probably 10% in there that got substance abuse. Right? They like junkies and they get in trouble because they always trying, right? And then there's a 10% that's to read smart, ain't got no substance abuse, but just was doing crimes. These like masterminds in crime. And they got caught or somebody snitched on them. Somebody snitched on them. Dude was balling out there. I was in there with a Mexican. He was in there. He had a whole bunch of keys and stuff at the crib. He got to argue with his baby mama, fight with his baby mama. She called the police. The police come in. they could kind of smell something. They searched, caught all that stuff in his crib. He was probably looking at 15, 20 years. So he in the county jail. The woman that called police on, she crying, it's her baby daddy. She didn't mean for him to get arrested. She just was emotional calling because they was arguing and fighting. And now her sloppiness was sending him bye-bye. One day he snatched the whole phone out the wall. So if you ain't, you know what I'm saying? If you ain't really built like that, you can't get into that. It's a horrible lifestyle. You know, with my wife at the time, there was a line in the sand. She couldn't pick up the phone and call no police under no circumstance. Now, I never hit a woman or nothing like that, but sometimes women be, get out. You know how they'll be. You're like, listen, I'm on the lease or whatever. But the law is you can't pick up that phone. You can't pick up that phone. Period. Because picking up that phone, you sending me to the penitentiary. So that was a stern rule. That was a stern rule with me. I can't get when the book come out, I'll talk about how I dealt with that. But you can't pick the phone up. Because you basically sending me to prison. Over nothing, over some petty stuff. Because you're on your period or whatever. I don't know what it is, but you can't pick up the phone. That's the firm rule. Other than that, I don't really care what she do or whatever. She got to argue and do all that stuff. That's good. You know what I'm saying? Give you something to listen to. So it ain't nothing that you can get into. But I was real good at it because I had just got stabbed up. You know what I'm saying? So I had just learned how to walk. And then the first dudes I met, they was all in the streets. So when I came back from the dead, I was born again. And then the first people I was around was street dudes. Because I had this militant mind state and I was all that. When you take that militant mind state and put it on the dark side, yeesh. So I was like a militant all them years. And when I woke up on the dark side, I was rough. I was perfect for it. I didn't have no emotions, no feelings, nothing. I didn't really have to do a lot of violence because I was so evil that when I used to threaten people, they believed me. So I didn't have to do nothing. Nobody didn't believe me when I told them what's going to happen if they do the wrong thing. Everybody believed me. Most of the time they say, oh, you threatening people. No, but with me, it wasn't a threat. I wasn't threatening them. I was telling them the facts. This is how this going to go. So I was antisocial. So I wasn't around a lot of situations. I had to do that because I stayed for dolo. I stayed for dolo. Oh, just me. I did not socialize. Nobody but with my wife. That's it. And my children. I did no socializing. None. Take my wife out to a concert, a reggae club, dinner, take the kids to the movies, drive in, stuff like that. I did no socializing. Not even with my man that had all the work. I didn't socialize with none of that crew. It was a crew of them, and I was one of them. I never socialized. Period. I went, made my money, went home. Went, made my money, went home. Went, made my money, home. That's it. I didn't fraternize with the customers. I didn't sleep with the female customers. None of that. I go by their house. They come halfway naked. I give them their package, get the money, and I leave. Because once I sleep with her, now she going to want freebies. Baby girl, you can keep that kitty cat. I'm trying to get bread. You know what I'm saying? I don't want that. You know what I'm saying? What I'm going to do with that? What you think I am, girl? I'm not a player. I'm a hustler. I'm not a player. And I'm not playing. That's how I stayed out of trouble. Nobody snitched on me because I wasn't around nobody to know nothing to snitch. Psst, the way you don't get snitched on, it don't tell nobody nothing. Now they got nothing to tell. As soon as you're around a bunch of people do stuff and they get in trouble, they gonna tell. You got to be with certified dudes. My man I cop from, he got busted. He went in, I think he had to do like 4 years. He ain't say nothing. He went and did his time. And it was bogus because I was a felon. They wouldn't let me visit him. We drove down to visit him. They said, "You a felon?" I didn't want to lie. I said, "Yeah." They said, "You can't come in here." I said, "What?" They said, "You can't come in here." Now, if I would have lied and said I'm not a felon and went in there, they could lock you up for that. Now you end up doing 3 years because you went to visit somebody in prison and lied and said you wasn't no felon. They find out you're a felon, they don't lock your ass up. A lot of brothers is locked up for not really understanding the law, not playing with you. The law not playing. So he went in, he did that time. I made sure his wife was all right if necessary. I never tried to talk to his wife. And all this old rule breaking, you're a professional line crosser. You know, you're a professional line crosser. I even rode to visit him. I wasn't going to try to talk to her. As a matter of fact, I fell asleep on the way back. It's rules to this shit. What I look like trying to talk to my man's wife that know my wife. Come on, man. Rest in peace to her. She passed away too from cancer. What I look like. So if you ain't really solid, you know, you stay out the streets. But really, if you're not solid, you're not going to make it in nothing you do, whether it's a job or hustling. You're going to fail because you a snake and you ain't got no loyalty. You ain't, you ain't no stand-up dude. You're a goofy. I just wanted you young people to know what they telling you about snitching and all that is a lie. Don't you let nobody get you in trouble until you don't snitch and you go to jail for him. Where y'all get pulled over, he got a weapon. He gonna throw it under your seat. And then the police catch you and it's under your seat. And then he say, don't snitch. And then they charge you with the weapon. You do 2 or 3 years. He don't send you $1. He go sleep with your baby mama and all that. Now, if he don't claim his weapon, you tell the police, that ain't mine, that's his. In the door. Let me tell you, young brother, something. You in the car. Police pull you over. Dude throw a gun under your seat. They find the gun. He don't stand up and take his crime. Tell. He trying to play you like a sucker. He trying to send you to prison where he ain't going to do nothing but laugh at you anyway. Tell the police, that's not mine, that's his. He threw it under my seat. And it ain't not one gangster could tell me I'm wrong. Because they all know that dude's supposed to stand on his square. That whoever it is supposed to take that charge. He not supposed to let nobody else take that charge. It ain't no gangster on here can tell me nothing different. You know the rules. Don't do the crimes, you can't do the time. If it's my gun and I throw it under your seat and then they find it and they finna arrest you, I'll be like, no, it ain't his, it's mine. For me to let him take the gun charge, that's not gangster. And then say he not supposed to tell. He's supposed to go mess his life up for my gun. But I was the gangster with the gun. Now all of a sudden I ain't no damn gangster. I'm gonna let him take that. They be lying to these shorties. That's why they tell you don't tell. They be telling you don't tell so they could use you. Send your son to prison. Send your daughter to prison for their crime. And then they won't send you $1. And the same dude you go to prison for, I'll go sleep with your baby mama. Let him call you whatever you want to call you. Stay the hell away from him. But if you a real hustler, with some gangster vibes like me, and you throw the gun under my seat, and then I tell, then ain't mine, it's his. And then you get locked up and you make bail and you come get in my face, boy, that shit gonna go bad. That's why I'm trying to tell y'all they lying about gangsters. Boy, if I'm a hustler, I be on some gangster stuff. And you throw a gun under my seat and they lock you up and you make bail and you get in my face, I'm finna do you dirty. I told, and I'm gonna dog you out. Yeah, I told, and I'm gonna do you dirty out here. So you go tell them I told, and I woo-wop through the boo-bop. That's what you gonna tell them. You're gonna be like, man, he told on me, then he did all this to me when I got in his face. It went sideways. Cause you a B anywhere. Don't be trying to act like no gangster now. If you was a gangster, you would have took your gun case. You was a punk. But I'm trying to act like you know gangster. You not no gangster. You try to put your crime on me. If you want to say I'm a snitch, go tell I'm the snitch did all that to you. Boy, get your goofy ass out of here. And everybody out there say, man, dude say you told. I say, man, dude, a B word. He tried to throw that under my seat like I'm a goofy thinking I was going to take his shot. He ain't standing on his own charge. You know what I'm saying? Woo-wop the woo-wop dude. I can't say no violence on YouTube. I respect YouTube. But boy, get the hell out of here. Boy, woo-wop the school scop you. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Come tell me to my face. You know what I'm saying? Boy, I ain't doing, listen. I was in the county jail, right? So they start saying, dude coming. They sending dude on the deck. Somebody was downstairs in the holding cell coming back from fighting their case. Comes to that, man, dude coming to the deck. Dude coming to the deck. So they was all scared of this dude. So when he come to the deck, I ain't going to say his name. And everybody was like, so he called all the vice lords to the bottom deck. Woo, woo, you saw so I'm going to knock your noodles loose. Cool. So one day we in there, the guards come in, they say, Bob, they break the cells open, tell us to go out in the hallway. We go in the hallway, they make you strip down to your underwear. So I'm sitting here and the so-called monster right there. So he take a package out of his underwear and he slide it over to me. This the monster everybody's scared of. I slide it back. The guard's out there searching. So he tried to slide it back real quick. I slide it back. So now you got to hide it because, right? So when we come back in the tip, we come back in, they call me in my tip. I go in there, there's 9 dudes in there. They want to violate me, right? So they want to violate me. They say, dude, they want to violate me because I didn't take dude's charge, basically. He under the fin ball. So under them gang rules, everybody get to talk. So when I got to talk, I said, why should I take that? He's selling that with the BDs. He ain't even selling that with the guys. They're like, he got a point, and they threw it out. But that was his last opportunity when I said that, because I was finna do him. That's a whole nother story for another day. Do what I look like, right? Guess what? We end up being like family. His son is like my godson. You know why? Because no matter what, at the end of the day, when I pushed that shit back and I was standing on business, what you think he thought about me? Man, nigga, Pharaoh a real one. He wasn't going for that goofy shit. Bro, let me tell you something. Do you understand that you just a man just like me? And if I want to, I woo-wop to the school scop you. You know what I'm saying? Boy, you got me fucked up. Who the hell is you somebody to them niggas? You ain't nobody to Big Pharaoh. Understand something. You know what I'm saying? I'm not in here for Girl Scout cookies. I'm really a monster. So I don't know. You know what I'm saying? We end up being cool. You know why? Because he know right there, dude ain't no punk. Dude ain't no bitch. Dude, if anybody's a bitch, it's you. Do you know who you talking to? Do you know if I get on this phone, you know what'll happen to you in here? No, you don't know. Boy, you trying to play me like, and if I would have took that, I would have been a bitch the rest of the time. He would have did all once if I would have when he pushed that stuff over, if I would have took it, he would have it would have been horrible for me. He would have dogged me the whole time. So like about 2 weeks later, they got us in the hallway again. This is when he flipped back and stopped. He said to me, he said, bro, I'm gonna mess around and knock them dreads out your head. That's what he said in front of everybody. I said, ain't nobody knocked them out yet. And it was quiet. Facts. After that, he stopped playing with me. Because what he didn't know before he got there, somebody found some things that the GDs had. And there was like 6 of them. And I was security. They brought them to me. They said, we got 6. I took one and hid it. They didn't say how much they said it in there. It was wrapped up in the thing. They didn't know how many it was. So I turned my back and opened it. It was 6. I hid one. And I turned around and say, oh, yeah, it's 5 of them here. So every time I had to turn those in on security, they thought it was 5. What nobody didn't know is it was one more nobody knew nothing about. So when dude kept talking crazy, he was going to find out about that one. I had a surprise. Like an NWA album. Surprise in word. I had a surprise. Keep on playing. I got a shocker for you. Because I told him we had 5, but we had 6. So all the time I was in there, nobody knew about that one until I made bail. I said, oh, yeah, it was one more nobody knew nothing about that I had for any of you niggas that would have got out of the line. They're like, hell no. Yeah, I put a thing on all you niggas. Yeah. I told them it was 5, but it was 6 because you don't trust nobody in there. You got no friends in there. None. No friends, no friends, no friends. That's why you don't do crimes. You don't get in trouble. To the young brothers, there's no loyalty. They all snakes. They all snakes. You don't got no friends when you on the dark side. Stay out of that. Don't let nobody tell you to go get in that world and don't snitch and all that. They're going to tell you whatever they're going to tell you to make you a lame. Yeah, they don't want you to snitch so they can run over you. The only reason they tell these young boys don't snitch because they want them young boys to take their cases. That's a fact. I'll tell anybody to their face. That don't snitch is designed for you to take somebody else's case. That's what it's designed for. It ain't designed for protecting nobody. It's designed for you to take somebody else's case and don't tell that it's his, and you take the case. Nobody can't tell me I'm lying. And it'd be older dudes doing that to the younger dudes, sending the younger dudes away for their crimes. That's what they use it for. That's what no snitching is used for. It's used for people to take their crime. You know how many young boys is locked up in the penitentiary for something they didn't do, somebody else did it? And that same dude at home, he get back, that dude that had 2 babies by his baby mama, the dude he took, don't send him, don't put no money on his books, don't come see him or nothing. Got you taking their cases. That's what they wanted to do with Gunna. They knew damn well Gunna was just riding around for music. And they was going to sit there and let Gunna take that case. Gunna ain't no snitch. They didn't admit that Gunna was innocent. Gunna was never built like that. Thug and them all knew it. And when the heat got on, they wanted Gunna to go down for something that Gunna was only around you for music. You kept taking them around on all that goofy shit. Thug was the one taking Gunna to stuff he never should have been taking. None of his artists should have been involved with no crime. So now when Gunna come out and sever himself from that, they want to say he a snitch because you didn't stand up and tell them Gunna innocent, let him go home. They was going to sit there and let that man get in trouble. And anybody can look at Gunna and say, see, Gunna didn't have nothing to do with nothing what they was doing. You can look at him. Everybody trying to hate on Gunna. Talking about Gunna ain't built like that. Well, if he wasn't built like that, why was Thug and them letting him get arrested like he was built like that? And Thug got a goddamn dress on. Everybody was scared of Thug because his daddy was that. Thug was always a B word. Thug ain't nobody. He was living off his daddy reputation. Facts. Thug ain't none of that. He only weigh 110 pounds. He ain't nobody. He was living off his daddy reputation, his daddy's crew. That's who they was all scared of. Wasn't nobody scared of Thug. Try to be something he not. They all bootleg Bloods and stuff anyway. What is you, YSL Blood or what? Y'all just making shit up. Try to be something y'all not. Every last one of them was uneducated. I watched the trial. It was nobody in there, the woody uneducated. Every one of them dudes was dumb as a rock. Lack of education or not. Every one of them. The only one had a little sense was Thug and Gunna. That whole crew was totally illiterate. You could look at Woody and say he never paid attention in class his whole life. None of them. They was all totally illiterate. Now, they don't talk about that. They talk about no snitching. They don't tell you learn how to read, be literate. They telling you all stupid stuff. Don't snitch, don't snitch, don't snitch. Hang around crimes. When you get in trouble, keep your mouth shut. That make any sense? Do the time for somebody else. It takes snitching and flip it and make it something else. Snitching had nothing to do with what they saying. Snitching is when you get in trouble and you tell on somebody else that ain't got nothing to do with what you're doing to get out of trouble. That is snitching. That stuff they saying snitching, that's not snitching. Snitching is I get in trouble. They ask me, do I know anybody else doing something illegal? And I tell on you. You didn't get caught, I send them on you. That is snitching. That is snitching. When you tell on somebody that got nothing to do with what you're doing to get somebody else in trouble so that you get out of trouble. That's snitching. But somebody come and beat you up and do all that and you tell, that's not snitching. You're not getting nobody in trouble that ain't supposed to get in trouble. These dudes is getting in trouble anyway. If the dude that they saying is telling, he's not breaking no rules. Because that's not snitching. That's not snitching. And give me your biggest gangster, your anti-snitch dude. I'll embarrass them. Half of them illiterate anyway. That's not snitching. Snitching is getting somebody else in trouble so that you can get out of trouble. That's snitching. Snitching is not when somebody do something to you and you report it to the police. That's not snitching. That's making sure the police do their job so you don't try to have to be the police and catch another case. That's what that is. But what they tell the youth is, you go catch a case. You go handle that, and you catch a murder case or you catch a case trying to handle something yourself. That's what they all say. If somebody do something to you, go back and do it back and take a penitentiary chance. That's what they teach to you. That you're supposed to take a penitentiary chance about something happening in the street. You're supposed to risk your freedom. That is gangster. Make some sense. If they would did that to me, I would tell the police and get them arrested. Why should I go out there and go to the penitentiary? I'm not going to the penitentiary. You're going to the penitentiary. And that's not snitching. That's not snitching. I'm not telling on nobody that didn't do nothing. That's snitching. Telling on somebody that didn't do nothing. Y'all did something. How's that snitching? They just flip snitching all around. Snitching was originally you get caught and then you try to find somebody else that got nothing to do with what you're doing and tell on them so you can get out. That's the original snitching. That's a fact. As they saying, well, if you tell us somebody else doing something, we'll let you go. That is the original snitching. Ain't none of these penitentiary losers can tell me nothing. That is snitching. Where I'm hustling and you hustling, and you get caught and you point me out. That's snitching. And then they kick my door in. I got nothing to do with what you was doing. That's snitching. But if I come do something physical to you and your mama and all in front of your kids and all that, and you tell, that's not snitching. How the hell is that snitching? That's reporting a crime. They're trying to make it like any crime you report is snitching. That's not true. They try to teach you take the law into your own hands and take a risk of catching a case where you trying to do the police work because somebody did something to you. So what? They want this dude to go break the law because they went and did something stupid and recorded it and all that? Come on, man. He ain't supposed to go put his life on the line to be even like that, trying to prove no stupid ass street code. Street code. The street code is the baddest man win. And if I'm badder than you and you do something to me and I tell, the street code is do something about it. That's the street code. If you don't like it, do something. That's the street code. And you ain't gonna do shit. Period. And if it was my situation and I told on them, they wouldn't do a goddamn thing but go to prison. Period. They wouldn't do nothing. I'm not finna go out there and risk my life to get you. I'm sending you to prison. What? No, they like, I need to go out and take penitentiary chance to prove I'm a gangster and take the chance to go to prison because you did something to me. I'm supposed to go you do something to me. I'm supposed to go do something back and go to prison just because you want to go to prison. Now, what? We enemies, but I can't tell the police. It's rules. It's rules. If you my enemy, all is fair in love and war. Yes, I would tell the police you my enemy. Lock his ass up. He did it. You the enemy. They talk about, no, you got to play a fair game with an enemy. I gotta be fair with my enemy. Yeah, right. Do something to me, and I know I'm sending the police at your ass. Because I'm going to get on some gangster stuff. I'm going to send the police, and you ain't going to do a goddamn thing about it. But go your ass to jail. That's gangster. When I call the police, and I'm saying, punk, you ain't going to do nothing about it. Okay, that's gangster. How you gangster when you scared what they going to do when you tell on them? That's not gangster. Gangster is you don't give no effort about what they know. Do something about it. Pull up, but make sure I could beat my case. That's all. Help me help you. But all that, I'm supposed to go crash out because you did something? Come on, man. That's the worst teaching. I don't know why they teaching the youth that. Somebody come and do something to my son, illegal, and get away with it. My son's supposed to go do something illegal back and take the chance of being the one get caught and the initiator get away. The initiator get away. My son get in trouble because he doing some get back. He take the law into his own hand, but he the one get caught. Now the other person win. He done robbed my son and my son went to prison and he's still free. Make that make some damn sense. They say, well, Pharaoh, if you're a gangster, somebody do your son, and he's supposed to call you so I can go to prison. I'm going to tell him, I'm going to go to his house. We're going to call the police. They said, that's not gangster. That's very gangster. I call the police. And then if you call my house, say, y'all call the police on me. I say, yeah, punk. do something about it. That's gangster. And you're going to be like, I'm going to tell everybody you a rat. Yeah, well, you better hurry up and tell them why you could talk. I don't give a f, bro. I'm a gangster. Gangsters, we don't care what you think like that. What the hell I care what you tell everybody. I'll go tell them all myself, y'all told on that B word. He ain't gonna do nothing about it. That's gangster. When I get on the news, I'm a rapper and I get on the radio stage, they said you tell him do that, he did that. Yeah, I told him. He ain't gonna do nothing about it. He a B. They're gonna be like, hey, that's a new twist. Tell him to do something about it. And go get my new single, Do Something. See, I dropped yesterday. Go get my new single, Do Something. Everybody gonna go buy it. Because most of my fans, they ain't no gangsters. They ain't no gangsters. My fans gonna buy that. Because I'm gonna tell my fans, somebody do something to you, call the police on them. Then stand on business after that. Don't stand on business first. Call the police, then stand on business. If you can stand on business before you call the police, why you can't stand on business after you call? If I could do you dirty before I call the police, why shouldn't I call the police and then threaten to do you dirty if you don't like it? At the end of the day, you still going to get did dirty, but you're just going to go to jail and get did dirty. You're going to get both of them. All that, try to terrorize me, talking about I called the police and you broke the law and did some shit to me in front of everybody. And you want what? I'm supposed to go take penitentiary chances? That's the dumbest shit in the world. These fools took penitentiary chances. Now they supposed to take no, let them fools, because they all going bye-bye. So why would you take penitentiary chances for them dumbass? The dude threw his whole music career away, and they recorded it. So they ain't the sharpest knives in the damn drawer anyway. Why would you crash out for some crash dummies? Come on, man. And don't have no OG that did 1,000 years in prison to tell me nothing, because I'm going to disrespect you if you did 20 years in prison. Because I'm going to tell you, been an idiot. That's why you did 20 in prison. Why would I listen to you, inmate? Inmate 3749. Shut up talking to me. That's what I'll tell you. But I don't care nothing about how much time none of that. I was in the contract. I had a dude tell me, man, I did 20 years. That's what he tried to tell me. I said, well, shit, the grave is lifetime. That's a life sentence. That's what I told him. Boy, messing with me is a life sentence. The jail prison is better than me. You ain't even coming back if you don't get the fuck out of my face. You came back from prison for playing with Pharaoh. You ain't even coming back. I'm just saying. He was like, so it's like that? I was like, pretty much. I wasn't like, yeah. I just said pretty much. It's pretty much like that. F.A. and F.O. You know what I'm saying? But I don't give a damn where you be in. You know what I'm saying? Well, I'm the devil. You talk about. You know what I'm saying? You from prison, I'm from hell. Boy, I'm the devil. That's what I was standing on. I ain't trying to hear all that fake penitentiary woo-wah-wah. Young people, don't listen to no penitentiary dudes. They dumb. Why would you take advice from a penitentiary, somebody that can't stay out of jail and can't read? Somebody that's 50 years old, talking about they getting their life together. Why would you listen to him? Young brothers, stop listening to ghetto gangster criminal stories and their philosophy. Their philosophy, they could stick it up there, you know what, for the young brother. Don't listen to no gangster philosophy. They're losers. All them dudes pushing don't snitching is some losers. The same dudes in Atlanta was pushing don't snitch. They always snitch. And now they talking about F the streets, which means F don't snitch. The same ones. The same ones that got on all them records talking about the streets. Turned right back around and said F the streets. But your son that went to prison listening to him, and now they say F the streets. But all their music sent how many shorties to prison? Pushing the streets. That's a perfect example. The same ones pushed the streets, turned around after everybody crashed out because they making a lot of money. And then they told all the shorties they not crashing out. F the streets. On the streets, we call them send-offs. 21 Savage and all of them, they call them send-offs. Y'all sent the shorties off. And y'all wasn't never standing on that. Boy, you a British boy. You ain't even like that. You ain't no savage. Get the hell out of here. Boy, you ain't none of that. You's a rapper. You better go rap. Them is rappers. The rappers is lame. They CEOs is the gangsters, and the record labels the gangsters. The rappers is the prostitutes. They don't never talk none of that to the man that's paying their bills or to their CEO. They don't talk none of that to them. They ain't talking that to the two dudes that ran that label down in Atlanta that paid all their bills and put money. Do they talk crazy to them too? No. Them was the bosses. They numbered rappers. I mean, I don't care if you have a baby. They got to do whatever they got to do for popularity. If he ain't signed no prenuptial, she going to take everything he got. And he going to be paying $100,000 a month for child support. That's what happened to Goofies. She hit a lick. She hit a stain. In case her career fall off, she could take his money. She making all that money. She got a certain lifestyle. And now that he have her baby, he got to pay for that lifestyle. Marry him for about 6-9 months, dump him, and she good for life. He got to go out there and get how he live and pay her. A lame. He's a lame. He married her. He's a lame. Played him like a violin, put that coochie on him, and he sold his soul. She ain't no wife material. She a bust down. No disrespect. I ain't said no name, so I ain't talking about nobody. Somebody else said that day. I'm just saying she a derb. Who gonna marry that? Who gonna marry that? That show you a goofy. I love you. For real though. For real though. I really love you. For real though. We could be the new Jay-Z and Beyonce. He ain't none of that. Come on, man. I don't believe nothing he be saying. Boy, you better go get some tea and crumpets. Boy, they trying to that. Where you from, boy? You know, boy, you from England. You know what I'm saying? Now, I know you can move somewhere and you can start being like that, but come on, man, that ain't even in your DNA, though. You know what I'm saying? Bootleg. Do bootleg. They get out here and they try to prove how gangster they are, and they crash out trying to prove something to the streets. And the streets is a myth. We losing all these young brothers trying to prove they the street. And we losing brothers left and right. to the streets. It's sad. We losing young brothers every day. That's why none of my sons, I let none of my sons or nobody deal with nothing in the streets. I ain't let none of my sons deal with the streets. Anytime, I don't care how old they was, anytime somebody was out in the streets giving my son and my stepson a hard time, I went out there. Every time. Sometimes they'd be like, you too old. I was like 40. You too old to be out here. I said, you too young to throw your life away playing with me. Just like that. I'm not letting my sons come out and deal with you. Holler at me. I'm the devil. That's what I was on. Anybody in O Block can tell you. Yeah, Ja Rule used to come outside I only had to do it maybe twice. I only had to come outside and threaten everybody maybe only twice. Everybody got the message. Why would I let my sons go out there and get involved with y'all foolishness? We supposed to protect them from that. Let them go get educated and make something. None of my son and stepson, they ain't never been to jail. They ain't in no gang. They got relationships. They out in the world making money, got jobs. I never let nobody I raised get involved with the streets. I was the monster. I had been outside. And anytime you want some street shit, I'm coming outside. I don't care if it's kids or whatever. Leave my kids alone. One time in O Block, I came outside. I was dogging out the kids, and they was like, "Oh, gee, these kids." I'm like, "Man, I'm trying to do a fetus dirty." It was quiet. That's what I told them. I said, "Man, mess with my kids. I'm trying to do a fetus dirty. Don't make me come back outside." Period. You understand? I'm the devil. There ain't no rules. No, it's the same. It's the same back then and now. They're not gonna tell me let my son handle his own way. No. It's the same for me. So you gotta understand what I was doing got nothing to do with the streets. I understand what you're saying, but what I was doing, I don't go by street rules. I go by my own rules. So for me, it's the same way. If you mess with my grandson, PJ, I'm coming up to the school. If they say to me, let your grandson handle his own affairs, I'm going to say, shut up talking to me. And don't let me have to come back up here. Period. That's what I'm going to say. Get it through your head. I'm coming back. He ain't coming. So move on. Let's move on. No, I'm handling it. Now, if you don't like me handling it, do something about that. Stop me from handling it. This is not negotiable. This is not, that's why I tell you, shorty, stay out the street. With me, it's not negotiable. I just told you how it's going. I'm coming back. They said, well, why don't he handle it? He did handle it. He called the monster. Granddaddy, these boys up at school messing with me. Okay, I'll be up there tomorrow. They said, well, why would you go up there doing with the kids? I'm really not going to do with the kids. I'm trying to get their daddy to come outside. Yeah, I'm trying to talk crazy to these kids. I want their daddy to come out. I want their OG. I'm trying to get the OGs to come out. This gangster shit is heavy. I'm just playing. I'm just doing the kids, trying to get the older ones to come outside and play. Yeah, go get your daddy. I know you too little. Go get your daddy. Go get your baby mama boyfriend. Tell him to come out here. Because all they going to do is go back and tell you, leave that man's grandson alone. Leave them alone. That's what they going to tell you. They going to go back. Once they come out and deal with me, they going to stand on business. I'm going to stand on business. But when they go back in the house, they not going to want to have did that. And they going to tell their kids, leave that kid alone. His granddaddy not playing. He not playing. That's what they going to tell him. Because at the end of the day, they going to come and stand on business, and I'm going to put a little bird going to put something in their ear. And the message is going to come from me. Fuck what you talk about. Don't have me come back over here. Because I ain't making no announcements. I ain't selling no wolf tickets. I'm not selling nothing. Don't make me come back over here. It's cut and dry. And at that time, I'm prepared. I'm prepared right now, though. You know what I'm saying? I've been doing, and he not going to have no more problems. Because don't nobody want them problems. Nobody wants those problems. So they going to go tell their son, leave that little boy alone. Because if the daddy go back and start asking, you know this dude, Pharaoh, you know this? Everybody going to be like, no, who? Pharaoh, no. But if he asks enough people, somebody like Pharaoh with the dreads, oh, no, leave dude alone. That's what they go. If he asks enough, if he go and do enough research, and he run into the right person, and they're going to be like, oh, Pharaoh, oh, that's my man used to be with someone? No. Leave dude alone. That's what they're going to tell you. If you get to a high enough hierarchy that know me, don't nobody know me like that, you got to reach the hierarchy. They're going to tell you, no. That's a no. You know who dude been with? That's what they're going to tell you. Like, and he's not going to even go to them. Like, he's the, you know what I'm saying? He's the one they go to. What the fuck? Go do your research. Just don't make me come back. In most cases, if I don't do too much, if I don't call the daddy out his name, and I stand on business, the daddy going to go back and tell the son, leave that boy alone because it's too much. The daddy not going to be tripping on me that much. He going to be looking at his son like, leave that little boy alone. The daddy don't want to get in all that like that. This is how black people is. Because the daddy going to look at it like the son is the aggressor. Your son is the aggressor. I'm defending my son. Any daddy, even if he stand up to me, he going to respect me defending my grandson. The same way he'll defend his son or grandson. So in the streets, they're going to honor that even though they're not going to bow down to you. He going to woo, 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 and you woo, woo, woo. But when he go back in the house, he going to honor that because your son is the aggressor or your grandson. Tell him to sit his ass down. Leave my fucking grandson alone. Because I'm the one saying leave mine alone. Nobody going to get mad at you for that. This the streets. Ain't no street dude going to get mad at you for telling them to tell their child or grandchild or whatever that person is to leave yours alone. Everybody in the street's going to honor that. And they're going to go tell their kid, leave them alone. Because in most cases, that kid is getting in trouble anyway. The daddy going to go back, I'm sick of you. That's the code in the streets. They not going to be too mad at you defending your own. Nobody. Nobody going to be mad at you for telling them, leave yours alone. Not a man, nobody. They're going to be like, I don't blame them. leave his grandson alone. They're like, dude ain't playing. That's what they gonna say. You see, he came up here like that. He not playing. Leave that man alone. Man, leave that boy alone. I'm telling you. Leave that boy grandson alone. That's what they gonna tell him. I had a situation where I went to pick my son up from school, and two little boys pushed him on the ground, and it tore his knee up. And so I ran to get him. They was little. They probably like 9, 8 or 9. And I caught him and grabbed him, and I shook him. I said, leave him alone. I ain't hurt him. I just scared him. The mama was picking him up. She went in the office and said, I grabbed the little boys. They came and made me come to the office for defending my son from her two little boys. I swear to God. So I go in the office. They call the police. The police officer sitting here. I'm sitting here. My son's sitting next to me. The lady there, the two sons there. I say, your sons pushed my son down, tore his pants leg up and his knee bleed. You know the mama didn't care? She was like, the hell with him, your son. Basically, because I grabbed the little boys and shook them. So the principal told me I shouldn't have grabbed the boys. I told the lady principal, I grab you if you push my son down. What is you talking about? Oh, get quiet. I grab you if you did that. Hey, listen, you the principal. You run this school. But this my son, this not your son. It's quiet. The police officer say, I got to agree with him because last week I had to go up to the school. Some little boy keep messing with my daughter. And I didn't ask them to make that boy stop messing with my daughter. And I had to go up there with my service revolver to get the record straight. That's what the officer said. It's quiet. Then I told the lady, the only reason your son's doing that, because they dirty, you don't dress them, they raggedy and dirty, you ain't taking care of them, and they jealous because my son taking care of got nice clothes on. She got big man. She said, you better be glad my husband, he a truck driver, you better be glad my husband ain't here. I said, I'll tell you what, when he get back, I'm going to come up here every day till he get back. So now I'm going to pick my son up all the time, but I got a secret web with me. I got Thunder with me. That was my Rottweiler. So now I'm going up to the school every day with Thunder. And every day I say, where your husband at? I got somebody I want him to meet. Thunder looking at me, waiting for the orders. You know how you train him. He keep looking at me. Like, is it up? He ain't going to move, though. But he keep looking at every day I came. Husband never showed up. Because I told her, your sons are kind of going to grow up and breaking everybody's houses over here. That's what I told her. Because you ain't teaching them no respect in the neighborhood. And then I told the principal, you weigh 300 pounds. You ain't even coming outside watching the kids because all you do is eat all day and you can't walk a half a block. Well, I'll be going ugly. I hurt her whole feelings. I say, you can't watch these kids. You 300 pounds. All you do is eat all day. She, yeah, shut up talking to me. Just like that. Because I got a lady to come up here and talk to you, Miss Principal. You can get it too. Listen, I'm going to protect my son. I'm just going to tell you like it is. The police officer, I don't blame. First, the police officer said, you the dude in the caddy, right, with the dates on it. That's what he said. I be seeing you riding around here. I'm like, yeah, that's me. You see a little too much, but that's me. He like, I'm going through the same thing with my daughter. The police was on my side. Man, my son, why y'all put, and what kind of mom is this? Don't you know if that was me? And my two sons pushed the boy down and it tore his pants and his knee was bleeding. Don't you know my sons would get cussed out and I would buy some more pants for the boy? I would have been like, I'm really sorry about that. My sons, they in trouble, trust me. They in trouble, trust me. What size he wear? I'm going to buy him some more pants. Go tell him you sorry. That's why I would have told my son, boy, if I had two sons did that, my sons would have had to apologize to that little boy. And I tell my son, if you touch that boy again, it's going to be a problem. I would never let my children victimize no damn body. That lady was condoning her, like I told her. I said, your son's going to prison. That's what I told her. Your son's going to prison as soon as they get older. Because you ain't teaching them nothing. I ain't even hurt them. I just grabbed them and scared them. I ain't going to hurt them little boys like that. I just grabbed them and said, hey, leave them alone like that. Try to teach them some manners. She should have been glad I did it. She should have said, thank you, yes, straighten them out. You know what I'm saying? I ain't hit them or nothing. They ran. So I ran out there and caught them. I told them, hey, leave them alone, shook them. The mama go in the principal office to tell me. Now, she a lady, I'm a man, you know, we don't beef with women. So I said, tell your husband to come up here then. Tell your husband, whenever he get here, have him come up here. He ain't never show up. But them boys didn't touch my son no more. Them boys didn't touch my son no more because I know what she did when she went on. She told him, leave that boy alone. I know what she told. After all that, she went off, she told him, leave that boy alone. His daddy not playing. And she did not tell her husband, who might not even be their daddy. That might just be somebody knocking her back in. They probably ain't got no daddy. See what I'm saying? We ain't got no law and order in the community. And they telling our children, don't snitch, or telling our children to take somebody else's case. And have your son, don't snitch. They don't be telling the truth about don't snitching. Don't snitching mean somebody could throw a weapon under your son's seat in the car. And then when they arrest your son ain't supposed to say nothing. Your son's supposed to go to prison for this dude. That's what they use don't snitching for. They use it for somebody else to get in trouble for what they did. That's what they use it for. If you throw the gun under my seat and I say, this ain't my gun, this his, that's not snitching, that's defending myself. Snitching is you in the car with me. You got a gun. I'm driving. They pull me over. They say, you ain't got no license. We're going to tell you to take you to jail. And I say, well, he got a gun. That's snitching. That's snitching. I'm driving. You pull me over. Maybe I got an open beer and I'm driving. They say, you got open liquor. They only search me. They say, we're going to have to take your car, tow your car. He could call somebody to come pick him up. And we got to take you down to the station. And I say, well, you should have searched him better. He got a gun. That's snitching. I'm trying to get out of trouble and I tell on somebody that ain't in trouble. That is snitching. But if he throw the gun under my seat and I say, this ain't mine, this his, because he don't want to stand on his own business, that's not snitching. That's not being a sucker. That's what that is. That's not being a sucker. Bro, don't throw that under my seat. Don't do the crime if you can't do the time. This is your gun. They want the youth to be quiet and don't tell who gun it is and take that damn case. Now, come on, y'all. That make any sense? Teach these youth. Don't let nobody send them to jail. Tell Tell your kids to tell, and the other one go to jail and hang their britches on the nail. Tell. Don't let nobody put no case on you. Tell. That's right. That's right. And then they want your son to take the case and go to prison. I know a lot of dudes went to prison for other dudes because they was no snitching. The other dude never stood up and say, "Oh, it's mine." Come on, man. No snitching is some bullshit. They just trying to call anything no snitching. You know, went in and beat this man up and all this. Tomorrow, you don't need to snitch, and y'all did that. And you done flew all out of town and did all kind of thing and did all this on camera and snitched on yourself and say he ain't supposed to snitch on somebody to snitching on themselves. Man, ain't no honor code in that, okay? That's all fake. All right? That's all fake. All right? I hope y'all young people learn. It is what it is. Don't listen to that foolishness.